And XRP is currently at $1.07. Isn't that amazing? Look at the weekly chart here. Isn't that a beautiful chart? Don't you like to see that? Yeah, we'll probably break over $2 before the end of the year, I believe, and possibly over the all-time high. We have a lot of clarity. You know, the fog's gone anyway, to be able to see the future. Very exciting. I mean, if you're super excited, I know you're super excited, but on a 1 to 10, how excited are you about the XRP price? You know, put that in the comments. 1 to 10, what's your excitement level right now? All right, let's take a look at crypto trading fund. Crypto trading funds at 84 cents. Look at here, we got a little Batman pattern. I don't know if that's an official pattern, but it looks like he's poking his head up there, doesn't it? Crypto Trading Fund has a lot of good news that's been coming out with their reward system. They've added Walmart is part of their reward system, and Amazon. And you have to agree, if you were managing a coin that had a reward system, you'd be very proud if you actually landed Amazon and Walmart. Pretty significant. I think as a coin, this thing has a pretty good future. I like to just trade in the volatility of it personally, but also holding some for the future is not a bad idea because the tokenomics of this coin is pretty amazing. So this is the price on the Polygon network. They have an XRPL too, but you can use the link in the description if you want to see where to pick you some crypto trading fund up, if that is that you want some. All right, let's take a look at Quant. Wow, look at that 7-day chart. Now, so we got a little bit of a rise that's happened there, huh? Just suddenly it took off from 65-cent range, went up to the 90s. Now we're at basically 80 cents. I'm telling you, when Quant starts to get noticed, this thing's going to take off like a rocket. As the tokenomics on this particular coin are absolutely amazing. There's not a lot of supply. I think it's 14 million coins. That's not a lot of coins, you know, in this type of environment where you have coins that have trillions of coins. But 14 million are all there are of this particular coin. And in order to use Quant, you have to own Quant. And Quant is one of those things that is probably going to be the highest priced crypto asset ever. I think it's going to blow away Bitcoin because of what it is and how it's used. So that's why I like to look at it. You know, I own a lot of these, and so I like to follow it. So look at that. I mean, it's at $80, doing well. Now, for those of you that hold those assets, I hope you don't just hold them on an exchange. Put them in a decent wallet. Get yourself a self-custody wallet. The decent wallet is awesome. I'm going to put a link up here where you can buy it at a discount. And it's the wallet that I use. I've owned several. I really think you'll enjoy it. Christmas is coming. You might want to take the 2 package where you save like $130 if you buy 2 of those. Shipping's free. And has biometric entry where you use your thumb and it opens up. Use your thumbprint. And if you lose your thumb, you can still use a password, but it's fun that you can just open it up with your thumbprint. You can also connect it to your phone and have a larger screen if you like, and there's different kinds of ways to swap and trade coin inside the app. It's really a great program, so go ahead and pick you one up. Today we're going to talk about, and this may not be a mystery to some of you, but I've been asked this question several times in the last day. Just people that know me, and I've even had some of my family call up and say, hey, tell my friend about XRP, because they're starting at 0. So to them, XRP is a mystery, and they don't know where to begin in the cryptocurrency world of why would they buy XRP. They can buy Bitcoin, they can buy Shiba Inu, they can buy Dogecoin. They can buy any of these thousands of coins that are available. So the big question is, why XRP? So to them, it's a mystery. And so I've answered this several times, and I thought, well, that might be content for a video. So we're going to answer that today. It's going to be probably not as good of a job as you would do, but it's going to be as quick of a job as I can bring to the conclusion of telling somebody that doesn't know anything about crypto of why they should buy XRP. So here we go. I made my notes, so you may see me refer to my notes by looking down. I got them on my phone. So if I do, I apologize for that. But so let's go ahead and start. So as you know, or may not know, the first digital coin was Bitcoin. Bitcoin came out. And, it was a toy to begin with. People played with it, didn't know what to do with it. But as time went on, other coins got developed. Those are called altcoins, alternative to Bitcoin. Among altcoins, there are meme coins and there are utility coins. There are some that are a little bit of both. What is a meme coin? It's basically, a fun or whimsical icon that people want to follow and invest in because it's popular. Like one of the popular ones might be Pepe. So you got this weird looking frog icon, and just it's ironic, and people are having fun with it. So as more people are made aware of such a thing, they want to purchase some of the coin. As people purchase, the price goes up. So then it becomes basically a popularity contest on the meme. But then since you're trading coin, as it gets more and more popular, or people just want to invest and make money, you can make money in meme coins. Then there's utility coins. What's a utility coin? Well, it's kind of hidden in the name, isn't it? It has a utility. There's a specific thing that coin can do, a job that it handles, or a job that it does. Whether it's a value for a certain company, its own coin, or if it's a reward token that's given and you earn that reward, and then you can cash that out for United States currency. Or it has a job as a value where you purchase things or trade them. So there's all kinds of things in a utility coin. Well, some of the utilities that popped up were cross-border transactions, is what XRP and Ripple decided to focus on. So you think, well, why did Ripple focus on cross-border transactions? Because it's a huge amount of money. I think 2019, $30 trillion is held in what's called nostro-vostro accounts. Well, what are those, Will? Well, banks that do international trade from a country to a country, not everybody has the same currency. So you have one country's currency, another country's currency. You got all these different currencies of the world. A vostro-nostro account is a pile of cash that only a few banks had enough money to do. So you had just a limited number of banks that would have vostro-nostro accounts that would hold huge amounts of the currencies of the world, so that when somebody wanted to do when transactions were happening between nations, they could use those banks to transfer the money. So you might start with the Russian ruble, and they're doing business with Mexico, and so what happens is they use one of the banks that have the vostro-nostro accounts that can take this currency, convert it to this currency, and perform the transaction for a fee. So this has a huge amount of piles of money, and that money can really do nothing. So XRP comes along, and they're like, hey, look at this. This is a problem. Wonder if we could solve that problem. The other problem that they saw that they could solve is the use of the system that operates this transaction, what is called the SWIFT system. Well, the SWIFT system took many days and many dollars to perform these transactions. And this time element, is archaic, because the SWIFT system didn't have a standard message system. It's mainly a message system, and then they would use the banks to do the settlement. So what you had is different countries using different methods of communication with no standardization and it took days to figure out what was being said. And for instance, you had a college making a payment to another country, and it's the Lambda Chi, and they're like, what's Lambda Chi? Then the Chinese, they're like, we don't even know what this means, just different things like that caused problems. And there were lots of mistakes that would be made and be corrected. So it took days and dollars, and XRP and Ripple thought, well, we can do this in seconds for pennies. So they saw that. Then as time developed, so XRP started developing their product, came up with a 100 billion coin solution. I'm going to use estimations here instead of exact figures. They put 50 billion in Ripple's escrow accounts and set up a system of dispersion. So XRP and Ripple are two different companies, but Ripple is the one laying out the rails and making all the deals, and the coin that's going to transact on the system that Ripple puts up is XRP. So Ripple has half of the coins in the escrow account with rules on it. So they go out and they start convincing, talking to banks and institutions, showing them their solution. Well, as time developed, the United States started weaponizing the SWIFT system. One of the biggest ones was doing sanctions on countries, and then they totally just took the money of Russia. So they called it a sanction, and they seized all their assets. Well, the weaponization of the SWIFT system really puts a lot of countries in jeopardy. They don't want the United States to do that to them. So they started developing their own system like the BRICS nations and wanted to de-dollarize, if you've heard that term. So this development happened after XRP had already started, but then XRP even looks like more of a solution because they're not controlled by politics. It's decentralized instead of centralized. Centralized meaning, here's a building and SWIFT's all in it and they can make decisions and the U.S. has power over it, and then therefore they can shut it down, turn it on, turn it off. Decentralized is there's nodes or computers in a network sitting around, and there's rules that are built within the system, and there's not necessarily someone over it that's going to, in the government, that's going to turn it off and on. It's decentralized. So this decentralization the world sees as a solution for the SWIFT system, or the control that the United States had over international trade. So this, of course, perks the interest of the Bank of International Settlements and the World Bank, and all kinds of different things. You have all kinds of different battles that arose, like the dollar wants to have dominance. So people over the dollar want the dollar to maintain dominance. Well, we're losing the dominance because of the activities that we've done and the weaponization of it. So XRP became even more of a solution as a decentralized way. So what does XRP offer? Well, here's what they offer. Instead of having giant accounts like Vostro Nostro accounts that we just spoke about with all the currencies of the world in it, and banks being able to kind of monopolize on that idea and charge smaller banks fees to be able to do these transactions, since they have the big money of all the denominations of the world, they could use XRP. Well, how would that work? Well, any bank could use XRP by purchasing XRP, lack of a better word, or using XRP, purchasing XRP with whatever currency that they have in the world, and now they have X amount of XRP. They send the XRP to the other bank. That bank receives XRP, cashes it out for their money, and they did that in seconds for pennies instead of days and dollars. So that becomes very exciting, because the world banks that are the banks that utilize Vostro Nostro accounts could suddenly see, this trillions of dollars that are stored up just to sit there to make exchanges. Well, it could actually be taken down from there and then actually utilized for something else. So that's pretty exciting for the banks. So what held it up? Why isn't the world doing it? Well, the SEC started lawsuits about 4 years ago with Gary Gensler and started holding up, XRP and just challenging them at every front. Instead of going into all the details, this challenge has been hung in the air and really was a very effective tool to slow down XRP. Why are they doing that? Well, I don't know. Just some people just say, well, the left just hates crypto. Well, that could be. There could be a motive in there to preserve the dollar or the whole idea of the power that they lose, or maybe they just didn't know what to do. But for any reason, for whatever reason, it turned out that the Democratic Party or the left ended up being responsible for, since Gary is under the Democratic Party, thought of as responsible for all this activity that isn't giving lifeblood into the crypto industry. So these lawsuits have held everything up. And we're answering the question, why XRP? So you see the giant solution that XRP and Ripple were the solution that they're wanting to bring to the world to free the world up and to free the banks up and to speed up the process. Well, as time developed and during the time period from when XRP started, also the Bank of International Settlements and other powers that be decided they were going to come up with a communication standard, ISO 20022. They want to standardize everything because the SWIFT system was a mess. So they come up with this standardization. Well, there's about 7 or 8 crypto coins that adopted ISO 20022 and became compliant to be on the communication level of ISO 20022. So they are the choices that are available for cross-border payments, and not just cross-border payments. There was so many more developments that came. So originally, XRP is designed to satisfy cross-border payments. But as the digital world developed, what happened was things popped up like NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which are, you have like an art piece, whether it's digital or real, and you convert it into a digital platform. You can give official ownership to somebody where they own the rights to that particular picture. Also, that can be a contract, a driver's license. It can be a deed. Then you have the tokenization of real world assets that started showing up. You could tokenize a house and the ownership and the deeds and everything with one token. Or you can fractionalize that and break it up into many, many, many tokens, and people could own a portion of a house by having a token. Well, then XRP started adding these ideas to the XRPL, using XRP to tokenize real-world assets and to have contracts made, digital contracts, or also known as smart contracts. So smart contracts became a big deal. So XRP added those. So what happened when they added those is some of those had to be shifted. Some of those XRP shifted off of the Ripple network onto XRPL. So what happened was, once you shift them over to XRPL, they can never come back. So what's happened is you end up with some of XRP that can't be used, which brings up the idea of locked XRP. There's some that are locked, and we're going to use that term because they're available. So some of them are not available to be used for cross-border transactions. Why is that important? Because of the pool of tokens that are available to be purchased for cross-border transactions, there are some that are not a part of that pool. Why is that important? Because of supply and demand. You shrink that supply, then the value of those tokens left will have to go up to complete the same job that they were going to do. So it might have been big enough to do it here, but it's not big enough to do it here, so the price has to go up. So instead of it being worth $5 or $10, maybe it has to be worth $100 per token. So I'm not trying to lock those down. I'm just giving you for instance. So there was many things that started locking tokens up. This isn't a complete list, but here are some of the things that lock up tokens. In other words, take them off the table of banks and institutions being able to use that XRP for cross-border. So it kind of cuts out some of the available tokens. So what is that? Well, some are locked up in the escrow account of Ripple. All of those tokens are not available to be used because Ripple disperses, I think it's $1 billion a month, but then they've been turning around 800 million of those. When they do that, those 800 million are then under a rule of 40 months, they can't be touched. So you have tons of tokens that are locked up in the escrow account that are not available to be used for cross-border transactions. So some people will say, well, they're going to sell from their escrow account. Well, yeah, they can sell the ones that are available, but there's not as much available. And I have another video that it talks about that, and I'll be sure to just go through and look at my past videos. It's probably about 4 or 5 months ago. Anyway, trying to keep this short, and we're already at 21 minutes. But the idea of wallets for RLUSD, the stablecoin from Ripple, it requires, some wallets require 12 XRP to create a wallet. Well, there's going to be millions of wallets made. That's going to lock up those coins because you have to have XRP in the wallets in order to have a wallet for RLUSD. Those are locked. Okay. XRP in the escrow account, of course, we talked about that. XRP in the automated market maker. There's XRP being utilized for other things. Those can't be purchased for cross-border payments because they're not available for purchase. XRP in newly formed trusts. We have some trust companies that created trusts. Well, you actually have to have the underlying asset in the trust. So those XRP that are put in the trust, they're not available for cross-border payments. Also, there are also XRP being burned to never exist again. As some transactions are happening, there is a burn factor that they're gone forever. I don't know what that factor is, but I know there's millions of coins that have been burned. Those can't be used for cross-border transactions. And we're answering the question, why XRP? What is the mystery behind that makes XRP so awesome? So no other coin is operating like this particular coin. These are all pretty unique to XRP. Okay, lost keys. People die, they don't have the keys. There's some lost XRP. That diminishes the available also. Sorry, that's my phone. And maybe the biggest is tokenization of real-world assets that we just spoke about. If you tokenize $1 million home and it's a homeowner that tokenizes it, but he's not offering it for sale or he's not tokenizing it, he just wants to tokenize his ownership, that would just be 1 XRP if he used XRP. But if he used XRP and he decided he wanted to tokenize and sell some of the value of his house to raise money, then he could tokenize that $1 million house into however many tokens he wanted to, into $50 segments. Well, that would be a ton of tokens. Well, those tokens to tokenize with XRP would have to be transferred to XRPL. Those would never be used again, ever. They can't come back. They'll never again be able to be used for cross-border transactions. So why are you saying all this? Well, it's part of the mystery of XRP that's not really known by a lot of the masses. Not even by some XRP holders do they realize that though there's 100 billion coins, which sounds like a ton, there's not 100 billion available. So here's why that's important. Here's another factor. This is super, super important. There's basically 2 types of buyers for XRP, and I'm going to call them by my own names. One is just the retail buyer. So he's the value shopper. We'll call him the value shopper. He wants to buy it low and sell it high, right? Just like anybody. That's all of the buyers of Bitcoin, by the way, if I just throw that factor in there. And then there's this other buyer that Bitcoin doesn't have, which changes. The reason I'm mentioning that is it changes how an ETF might affect the market of Bitcoin. Since everybody's a value shopper in Bitcoin, an ETF will be affected by the derivatives that you can purchase of options, of calls and puts, because everyone's a value shopper. Okay, so it can be more controlled. But those factors of control kind of get stripped away about this other buyer, who's the indiscriminate buyer, the buyer that doesn't care if an XRP coin is $1.07 a coin, or if it's $100,000 a coin. Well, who in the world is this buyer? Well, it's the banks and institutions that are going to use XRP as a vehicle to move funds across the planet. So they want to send a giant payment to somebody. They don't care if they're buying 10,000 XRP that are worth, $100 a piece, or if they're buying 100 XRP that are worth 10,000 a piece. It doesn't even concern them. They're transferring a value. So they'll buy those XRP, and as the price is driven up, if it's bought on the market or from exchanges or however that's going to be purchased, it's going to drive the price up, and they don't even care because they're going to move that money. It's going to be sold on the other side. So if that was one bank, then this wouldn't be really an issue. It'd be like, yeah, that's a problem. But we're talking about thousands of banks and institutions doing this on a daily basis. One of my past videos has a spreadsheet on it. Just look for the word spreadsheet in my past videos. I created a spreadsheet that broke down several of the banks and institutions that XRP has on board. I broke it down on how much money they send and receive in a year. I divided that by 365 days so that we have the daily amount that bank will move. So you could break it down even further than that, I suppose, but I broke it down to the daily amount. Once you break down several banks and institutions that will be moving money daily, that figure is huge when it's thousands of banks and it's between the continents. It's between the nations of the world. That's going to make the average price of XRP, since they're buying indiscriminately, they're purchasing that coin in order to transfer it around the world and to move that value. They don't care about price, so they're buying it at whatever price it's going to need to be. And the price is going to be changing because of the number of coins there are. Doesn't it make sense? If you only have 50 billion, if you had 50 billion coins fully available and they were worth $1, you could only move $50 billion that day, right? So you would buy them all. Well, but they're not all available for you to buy. Of those 50 billion, who knows how many are available to buy? So when you start buying them to move the value that you have, you can only buy the ones that are available. Well, everybody will have that situation. This is such a massive price driver for XRP because that indiscriminate buyer is going to purchase those, move those, and those buying and selling is going to be taking place. This is why I believe it's going to easily be a 5-digit coin, could be 6, 7-digit coin. It just depends on how all of this stuff gets moved in. You have all of these locked coins that are going to be happening. It also leads me to believe, this is speculation, I believe they will stair-step the value. They might initially set it at $25 and then see that that's not working, because the number one thing is going to be liquidity, isn't it? So they're not going to be where like, oh, we can't do it. They're just going to have to drive the price higher in order to accommodate the need. So it'll probably be stair-stepped. Maybe they'll see, man, we're going to have to set it at 25. And it's always going to have to be more than what they need, because they're not going to tap out. They don't want to tap out and then ruin liquidity and the whole project fail, right? That's not going to happen. So maybe they'll set it at $25 at some point in time, and then have to set it at $50, and then at $100, then at $1,000, and then whatever's going to accommodate the movement of the money that's in it and from that available fund. That is why XRP is different, and it's kind of the mystery of why XRP is different. I have some more opinion. To me, $1 XRP is still nothing. This is beginning stage. This is so beginning stage. It's still an extreme value $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, in my opinion. In my opinion, these are still peanuts of what XRP is going to be. So I've kind of unwrapped and probably created more questions than I have provided answers, but that's the quickest answer I could give, and we're at 30 minutes, of why would I buy XRP with all of these other coins available. That 1,700 and something contracts that we know about, revealed in the court case. We know many banks and institutions of the world. We know that the Bank of International Settlements has talked about XRP directly. We know they're trying to solve the problems of the world, and they're also creating in entire cryptocurrencies for nations. There's so much going on that I haven't even scratched the surface of, but that's a general outline. Hey, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. I appreciate you. I'll see you next video.